Hey, what's up, gang? Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the accidenttrader.com nightly wrap-up show. Hope everybody is doing okay. Hope everybody had a good trading day. Hope everybody is in a position to trade tomorrow, because if you are in a position you trade tomorrow, then you obviously didn't do anything silly to blow up your account. And that's the whole point of business. Business, the nature of business, and the greatest part about business is, well, staying in business. And for every single trader who believes this is a fun academic kind of exercise, or something that they should be taking for granted, well, you won't be trading anymore. And that's the most harshest reality out there. For the rest of us who do click a mouse for a living, and we don't believe in the word blowing up, because blowing up is an act of being completely out of control, and that's the complete opposite of what I really try to pound into everybody's head. And one of the biggest things of staying in control is kind of recognizing the day that is in front of you. Obviously, Friday, we had a very, very strong day. Jobs number, the whole possibility of the whole banking reform, big move to kind of close the week. And if you looked at the scoreboard, and we talked about this yesterday in the weekend video, if you looked at the scoreboard, all the indexes for last week were completely flat. So going into today's session, we kind of had an inside day. Again, inside day, pretty basic. Didn't take out the high, didn't take out the low. We just kind of sat there on smaller volume. And when you have kind of a hangover, right? A hangover from the Super Bowl, and what a great game, right, guys? When you have a hangover from the Super Bowl and you have an inside day, the market action is probably going to reflect. And that's exactly what happened today. A little bit of a slower day, not a lot of enthusiasm. Index is down small, really nothing, nothing too crazy. It was just kind of a lazy, it almost felt like a lazy, random, like July day, right? Kind of lazy, wasn't anything, nuts. Yeah, listen, there's some, pretty decent ideas in the room, and some good trades in the room, but overall, there wasn't anything that kind of lit up and really take notice. One really good call today in the room was by Peter C. Again, Peter C is really starting to get really good on these pivots. They call out a really strong, aggressive move on the video. We'll talk about the individual trades in a bit. But again, nothing materialistically changed. Again, the longer we consolidate, the longer the bears get more frustrated. And the longer the bears get more frustrated, the bigger short interest grows in names. And as we say all the time, the longer a stock sits in consolidation and sits in a distribution channel, the longer and the better chance that the stock will run. And that's where the bears are right now facing every single day. The longer we don't go down, doesn't mean we're going to go up. And it doesn't mean we're going to go up, but there's a better chance that we're going to go up than we're going to go down. But again, at the same time, and again, it's so easy to convince a new trader that you're taking both sides of the stance. But the reality is true. I mean, we haven't had a pullback, right? We haven't had a pullback, but the market's dictating such great action right now. And as long as people are literally running out of their minds and buying stocks like GLBS, right? Buying GLBS that went from up 10 cents on the day, and we saw it play out perfectly around that. I think it was at 760 or 670 level, somewhere like that. And now the stock went to $10 after the close. That's when you know the market's good, and that's when you know people have no care. People have no care. They have no fear, and they will chase anything with a pulse because some guy on Twitter says it's going higher. Well, it's going higher. So that's that. So if you look at the, again, not materialistically, nothing to report. If you look at the watch list from last night, again, business as usual. EXPR, what's just a big move, guys. I mean, I missed this trade myself. I was just kind of watching some other things, but this ESPR just exploded to the 1833 level. OREX, if you guys caught that, congratulations. We talked about last night that 430 break. It opened up at 414. Went all the way to 485. It's a good job there. Tulo is just a crazy stock. Again, I made a fractional profit on this thing today. The one thing I've learned about Tulo in the last several days I've been trading it, you have to buy it into weakness. You can't buy it into strike. There's no way you can buy this thing to strike, because what happens is it takes out a previous pivot and then the bids completely dry up, and it's complete opposite of everything that I've traded. I've traded for years and years and years. So I made literally like 4 or 5 pennies on it. I just didn't want to be in the stock. It just trades incredibly weird. And if you have any type of size in this thing, it's going to be, it's going to be very aggressive the other way. Some other names, again, check out the pivots. Again, really nice call by Peter C. Talked about this 1050 pivot, right? Talked about this, I'm sorry, this 1550 pivot, and look what the stock did. I mean, just completely exploded. Awesome call. That was definitely the call of the day. Raccoon, I flipped, I flipped this thing at the open. Again, nothing crazy. RCUN, it was a 50,000 offer. It got cleared out, only ran up a dime. Once I saw they couldn't run this thing up, I got out. Made nothing, like 6-7 cents on the trade, and it just got out. I mean, it just got out. There was nothing there, nothing there. Just nothing there for me. Just really nothing there for me. AVXL was a pivot. We called out in the room. Here I am. Nice pivot. Nice pivot. We talked about this 490 level. It went all the way to 530. I had 2 Tesla trades, right? I had 2 Tesla trades. What's the best way to describe it? The two Tesla trades I made. Usually, if I take Tesla twice in a day, it means something really good action. I couldn't get anything going with both stocks. Not at all. I had one trade that was a flat trade. Then the next trade, it was up, then it was down, then it was up, then it was down. Wind up losing just nothing, very small there as well. The good news is my inventory again starting to get stronger. CGIX that I've been holding since right here. I've been holding this thing since January the 24th. This is the highest close. This is the highest close, and I am up about 40 cents in the trade right now. And hopefully, this is the highest close in this whole formation. It was up almost 8% today. Hopefully tomorrow's finally the day it really gets exaggerated. Other than that, it's just a pretty dry day. I mean, just a really dry day. There's nothing really more you can say and try to jazz up. There's nothing there. It is what it is. It is what it is. RTCR, I am still holding. I was up about 25 cents in the trade this morning, and I am down 3 pennies in the trade. Again, like I said, when you're swinging a stock, you have to take all the goods and the bads with it, because again, you are trading it against a range. As long as it doesn't take out a range, there's no reason to sell the stock. And just because you're down in the position doesn't mean it's a bad trade. All it means is, well, here's another case scenario of, well, put in another high or low. So until this trend breaks, right? Until this trend breaks, you got to stay in the trade. So that's exactly what I'm doing. So that's it. I mean, that was literally the highlight of my day. I mean, that was literally the highlight of my day. Made a little bit of money, Raccoon. Made a little bit of money. Actually did okay with this CGIX. My half size there, and made a little bit of money. Just pretty. This was very dry. Nothing really to talk about. I really like the setups for tomorrow. I really do. I think some of the high beta names look like they could be setting up for a nice ROM tomorrow. Okay, and let's kind of get into the watch list for tomorrow, and hopefully you'll see that the action will build up for tomorrow. So let's talk about it. So we talked about it this morning, this afternoon. I really like the Tesla's, the Netflix setup here. We talked about this area here above 40.64. Now it's going to need to break above 41.20. Good looking chart. I think that if it gets above 41.20, has a shot to 43. Guys, I'm watching Amazon. Okay, look at the flags. It's building. And again, I don't know if this flag's going to follow through, but if Amazon can break this downtrend and get above 808 and start building, I think the first move can get to 812, 814, and then possibly a big move. So keep an eye on that one as well. Facebook looks really good as well. Okay, Facebook looks good as well. I will watch it tomorrow. Initially, we had this break here of 132. It's above it. So tomorrow morning during morning strategy, we will talk about new levels for it. We'll always obviously talk about new levels for Tesla. Very strong. Probably the red to green scenario on Tesla will probably be the biggest bang for the buck. And I'm going to keep an eye on Google for tomorrow also. Again, we'll talk about all these ranges tomorrow at morning strategy. Some other names that I do like. Okay, some other names that I do like going into tomorrow's session. Let's talk about them now. Let's see here. What do I like? If my email would ever pop up, would be fantastic. Bear with me for one moment. Okay, bear with me for one moment. Okay, here we go. So let's talk about some other names that I like. I like Facebook tomorrow. I like Netflix tomorrow. I kind of like this MBUU. Interesting looking chart. Looks like a boat company. Again, nice looking chart. I've never traded this thing, obviously, but look at the look at the momentum in the stock. breaking out. Keep an eye on this thing above the $21 level. Again, your risk in the stock is very, very minuscule. OXLC, another smaller name. Nice. It has a long base here, really long base here. I think a break above 1180, and this thing can go 17.5 million share float. A little cheapie I like, this THM, for all you guys who like these little cheapies. Keep an eye on this thing above this 75, 76 area. I like Sinus. Chinese names were pretty strong today. Baidu is very, very strong. Look at Sinus chart. It's attempting to get oversupply. A break above today's high of 72.08 will get this thing going, so keep an eye on that. And the last one I want to watch is CNET. We had this in the room several times over the last year. This thing, big breakout today. I think a red to green move will get this thing probably to the 540 area before it gets any type of resistance level. So again, pretty slow day today. It's fine. Again, I always tell everybody, may the slowest day you have, may the worst day you have trading is be a day that you're slow. That's it. Because when you have a day that you're slow, that means you're still in the game. If you have chips, it could always get easier the next day. So again, always play the premium hand. It's nothing that you haven't heard before, but it's very, very important to stay in the game and stay solid. Guys, have a great night, everybody. Tomorrow we should have some better, smoother ranges. Hopefully the volume will return tomorrow, and with God's help, I'll see you all there. Take care, guys.